Got my keyboard back on the table. Yay! I moved the Meg out of the way. I thought I'd have a little rant, actually. So, just to give you a little bit of information, news update. Well, it's not really my news. It's what we're hearing on the grapevine, and many different sources all saying the same thing, that as we all know about the puppeteers in Parliament, and or is it the puppets? So it doesn't really matter who's running the show. Ultimately, what we're hearing is that the powers that be, we're entering this new paradigm, this new epoch, whatever you want to call it. All this green nonsense and everything else is basically we're not going to own anything anymore. So they're saying that you won't own anything and you'll be happy. Right, okay. I wouldn't be happy. I'd rather be dead, because it's not about owning stuff in my perspective. It's about being able to have the tools to do my projects and to be able to help other people. And if you don't have the tools, you're kind of up the creek, or you're stumped, basically, because we've always, humanity, right from the Stone Age, right from the time when we lived in the caves, we used to make our own tools. We used to, even if it was just a piece of flintlock or a rock or something, we would improvise and to be able to build. And that's who we are, humanity. That's who humanity is. We're creators, builders. And unfortunately, sorry, I'm just having a stretch, I'm just stiff. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to become menials because of the way the things are going. We're not going to be able to allow to create for ourselves anymore. We'll be doing it for somebody else, or with the agenda and everything. And anyway, I thought I'd have a clean up. I don't want to get into a big rant, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I'd have to clean up because I can't remember the last time I had my keyboard on the table. I'm glad to get it back on the table because it wouldn't fit on there, because I had my Meg stood there, and I just disconnected it all, and I just stuck it on my windowsill on top of the battery box for now, because I don't need all that clutter. So there are certain things about possessions, because I was just generally talking about possessions and things, really. There's certain things about possessions that you need tools, you need things to be able to function. And if you don't have the tools and you don't have the possessions that are basically the main ingredient, and that's the right word, the main ingredient of human creativity, then you basically end up being redundant, feeling useless, helpless. You don't have a purpose anymore. And human beings need a purpose. We all need a purpose. Some people have a purpose in social skills, communication, which we do seem to have a huge lack of accurate communication these days. Most of it seems to be biased and twisted and distorted, which is a shame, because humanity was That's the whole purpose of developing speech and language, is to be able to communicate, but now it appears to be distorted and twisted. And then there's the other skills that we human beings have, and that is to improve, to advance, to make things better. But it seems that we have this situation where at the moment things are being made worse. So somebody has thrown a spanner in the works. So not all tools are good tools, because they're mangled up because someone threw a spanner in the works and decided that he wanted to turn humanity against itself. So yeah, this is just my little rant. So anyway, I got my workspace back, and what the plan is, when I get this battery box built, when I get that assembled, which I need to do, I was going to order the nickel tape this week. I don't know, I'll have to see about that. I'll see what my budget allows, because yeah, I got a bit behind last week, so I went into a little bit of debt on my bank. So yeah, yeah, it's just that I don't want to get behind again for the next fortnight. Otherwise, I'm going to be up the creek again. So anyway, once I get this battery box built, my plan of action, because obviously the ups won't be on the table. That's the white and grey thing. That won't be there anymore. I can put that aside somewhere or run equipment on it. And what my plan of action is to use that table for doing my projects. And that other generator there, I'll probably park that somewhere else out of the way for temporarily until I decide I want to work on it again. But at the moment it's just stuck there. And you'll say, well, why don't you just move it? Well, yeah, I've got to disconnect all the frigging wires. I've got wires trailing all the way across, and there's all that lot down there. And yeah, it's just not, yeah, I want to clear all this table. I really do. And it's also finding somewhere to put it, because at the moment my ironing board, which is full of stuff at the moment, that's full. My other table's full over there, and I haven't got anywhere to put it. So yeah, I'm just trying to, that's why I stuck the other one on the windowsill. I thought, well, that's the only place I can put it really right now. I'm trying to sort some space out. Yeah, I suppose I could park it around the back of this lot. I've got some space around the back of that. I could stick it in that corner up against the wall. I suppose I could do that, yeah. I haven't got around to it. I'm just doing it bit by bit, because I've got a plan where I want to move stuff and clear stuff. And I need to get rid of a bunch of plastic, which I don't need anymore. So, yeah. But yeah, it's, you know, I used to think when I was younger, aren't I lucky that I was born at this time in the space race, and I was able to watch the Apollo landing on the moon, and the astronauts going on the moon, and is my stream still going? Yeah. So I used to think that when I was little, when I was like 14, 13, and the music, and at the time, the greatest music, 70s and 80s, really, and the 60s. I used to think, oh, it's a really cool period to be born into. But now I kind of think it's sad, because the way things are going, the way the world's going, the way the system seems to be collapsing, it's like I'm here to witness the end, sort of thing, and it's very depressing. I mean, it's like you build up all that excitement to go and watch a movie, and it's been well advertised and promoted, and you think, oh, this movie, I've got to see this movie, and you sit down and you're watching it and you're really excited, and it's got a really good start and it's got a really good middle part, and it's and you're very enthusiastic and looking forward to seeing it all turn out, or how it all turns out, you know what I mean? And then you get to the last 10-15 minutes of the movie and it's a real sad, miserable, horrible ending. And you're thinking, I wish I'd never even bothered to go and watch the movie now. And I'm using that analogy to try and explain the way I feel about the way everything's going right now. The government they don't seem to be working for us anymore. Maybe they never did. Or maybe they're just teaching us a lesson because there was talk that the world is a stage. I've always heard that for decades and decades and decades. I've always heard many comedians and actors and people say, oh, the whole world is a stage, and I never really understood what they were talking about, and now I start to understand it a little bit better, that it is a stage. It's all... And have you noticed the news outlets recently? They start talking about bad actors, and you think, oh my God, they actually calling them actors, right? Bad actors. So they were acting all along, right? Or lying to us and acting. I mean, that's what an actor is. It's somebody that's great at deception. That's what an actor is. It's deceit. It's pretending to be something they're not. So when you hear them talking in the news media, oh, there's some bad actors in the politics and all this. What the hell are they talking about? Unless they're actually admitting that they're actors and that they were teaching us a lesson or something, or that we're all here under some sort of universal God plan or whatever, or demonic. I maybe not such a lot of satanic crap everywhere. You can't avoid it. It's all over the place. I mean, I'm watching snooker, right? And they have these intermissions, right? And there's a guy walking around with a black hood over his head, all dressed in black, like one of them ancient monks, like the Grim Reaper. They're literally dressed like the freaking Grim Reaper. The only thing missing is a flipping sai. You know, the big thing that they carry on the shoulder to chop your head off, whatever that is. So, and it's everywhere. The symbology, it's everywhere. But most people don't even see it. They don't recognise it. It's creeping up on you. It's like... Oh, it's like mould going on the wall. You don't notice it, right? You don't notice the mould is going on the wall because it starts off as one black speck. And then 2 days later, there's 3 black specks. Then a week later, there might be a little patch of about, over an inch area where there's about 6 or 7 or 8, 9 black areas, black spots, and every day you walk past it and you don't see it because it's slowly appearing like the frog being boiled slowly in the pot, and and then one day you go away, right? You go and stay with an aunt or a cousin or something, aren't you? And you stay away for a week or 2, right? And you come back and you see this big black area on the wall and you think, shit, when did that start growing on my wall? When did that mole start to appear on my wall? And you suddenly realise it's there. You didn't see it happening before because it was happening so slowly, right? Now, the reason I'm talking about this, and you're going to say, oh, you talk a load of rubbish. No, I'm talking about the fact that what's going on around us right now is like that mould. It's a very slow process. Each day seems to get a little bit worse each day, and you don't really notice it's happening. And the people that do notice it, right, are the ones who go away for a while, right? So you're living in the UK. There's people who are from the UK, from England, for example, and they'll go and live in Australia for a while, or they'll go and live in Spain for a while, maybe 6 months, and then they'll come back and they'll say, "What the hell's happening to my country? It's everything's gone. Everything's so expensive. Flipping heck! Oh my God! It's how much it is to buy a gallon of fuel for my car now." But now we've got to a point where we've got to this point now. You don't even need to leave the country. You don't need to go anywhere. You just fill your car up 1 week, and then the next week you got to fill it up. You can see straight away now it's happening. Everything's happening so quickly now. It's instead of that mould taking a whole week to grow one speck on the wall, it's like that. It's like 1 foot of flipping mould has appeared in a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? So now everybody is seeing it, right? Everybody's seeing it. You don't need to be blind anymore. You don't need to be a frog anymore in that pot, because you can see it happening. It's speeding up. It's like watching a flower grow in time lapse. Instead of sat there on your doorstep and the flowers just sat there not moving, right? And instead of having to sit there for weeks on end just waiting for the petals to open, you can literally see it opening its petals. And that's what's happening with the awakening. People are seeing stuff happen right in front of their eyes now, and they can't deny it anymore. And they say that watching a clock, right, when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, when you're waiting for that tick, that second hand to tick, 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 it takes forever and ever and ever to go around the clock. By the way, that clock's the wrong time, by the way. The right time is up there. That's the right time. So, zoom back out again. So, anyway, yeah, why do I have that clock 1 hour, half an hour fast? Well, that's because if I have to go uptown, it takes me 30 minutes to get uptown now. And if I set up at 8 o'clock, right, by the time I get up to town, I'll be there by 8 o'clock, you see? Right. I know that doesn't make any sense to anyone, but it just helps me. So, everything's getting crazy. And I'll tell you something else. My daughters used to say to me, when I used to talk about this stuff, they used to say, "Oh, stop listening to all that conspiracy theory stuff. It's all nonsense. You shouldn't believe that." And I told my daughters, I said, "Look, I've been on this planet for 60 years. I've seen changes happen, and I've seen how far down this rabbit hole that we've gone, right?" And they used to think, my daughters used to think I was a bit paranoid, I think is a word. And I was quite surprised. I was speaking to my daughter, my youngest daughter actually, about a few days ago, and she said to me, "Oh, I hate this planet. I hate what's going on and all that." I'm thinking, holy shit, she's waking up. Even my daughter's waking up to what's going on in the world. You see, the globalists can't hide it anymore. It's out there. Everyone's seeing it. Even my kids are seeing it. I was shocked. Because my daughter's never been into conspiracy theories. She's never even paid attention to it. Yet, it's everywhere, right? It's basically hit people in the face. I mean, this COVID crap, right? This pandemic, all this. I mean, that is really what's done it, I think. It's it's been the what's the word? The tinderbox, the spark that's triggered a lot of people. It's just got people to open their eyes a bit. You can see it in faces, but there's still a lot of people walking around with masks on. I think there's a few die-hard people out there that will still believe the crap, the nonsense, the propaganda machine, which is what the BBC has become. I was one day out in the shop. I was just talking to this woman. I was talking about the mask. I said, "You do realise a mask don't do a damn thing, don't you?" And she just looked at me as if to say, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I just said, "Trust the science." I said, "Not the new science, the old science." I said, "Back in the 70s, we had proper science back then. We don't have proper science anymore." Anyway, that's all I said to her. And she must have thought I was a complete kook, but she might not think that anymore because the way things are coming out now. I mean, even conventional conventional newsreaders that used to dismiss all of this stuff and used to say it was all a lot of nonsense, even they're starting to question it now. It's happening. It's happening. You know, the awakening is happening. But you see, what worries me is the fact that there's always a contingency plan, right? So if the dark agenda doesn't get what they want through conventional media and mind control methods, if they don't get it through that, and if there's a big enough revolt, we're seeing the truckers and the protests happening in every country now. If there's a big enough physical revolt to the system, then what worries me is that the contingency plan would be physical war, and that was prophesized. Just took the charger out. There was this psychic medium woman, and she was talking, and it actually printed this out some years ago, and I just actually said it when I showed this last time. That's for later. So all of this stuff's coming true right now. What the hell happened? I must have sprayed some stuff on the paper. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I sprayed some stuff on the weather cottage to try and get the lady to come out. Or the man to come out, sorry. He only comes out when it's raining, by the way. He doesn't want to come out. So, yeah, what worries me about the 2025, if you look at the date, 2025, the population of Europe will disappear as a result of wars. We've already got the 2016 thing, but that happened, well, I think that pretty much did start around 2016, actually. I don't know about the Earth's orbit changing, but something's going on with the, yeah. So, yeah, how long do we have? It's 2022. Now, if that's correct, and that was a very good medium, she's accurate, she's very accurate. So she's saying that there could be wars in 2025. Is that true? Is that really going to happen? I hope not, because my kids, my daughters are like 20, hang on a minute. Oh, I've lost count now. I can't think straight right now. Let me just pull up my calculator, because I can't work this out. My brain's turned to mush. So if I put in my daughter's birthday, and subtract minus 2022, she's 27, my eldest daughter. She's 27. Minus 2 years, my youngest daughter will be 25. So yeah, I'm worried about my kids, really, more than anything. I think we all worry about our siblings, don't we? That is the only thing, that's what makes us human, having family and having a future. A genetic future is what a lot of people are concerned about. So anyway, I think I've done enough on my rant. So I've been going on for 24 minutes now, and it's yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.